For decades, cardiovascular risk assessment has revolved around two familiar acronyms, LDL and HDL. If your LDL was low and your HDL was high, you were golden, or at least that's what the prevailing wisdom said. Enter niacin, the once celebrated vitamin B3 that promised to revolutionize lipid management. It could lower LDL, raise HDL, and improve total cholesterol like a biochemical magician. Cardiologists handed it out like golden tickets. And yet, after years of hype and billions in prescriptions, niacin fell from grace. Not because it failed to change the lipid numbers, but because it didn't reduce actual cardiovascular events in large, well-designed trials. This inconvenient truth cracked open a fundamental question. Are we measuring the right things? What this taught us, painfully, is that lipid profiles alone do not define cardiovascular risk. LDL and HDL are markers, not prophets. They're useful, yes, but incomplete. Cardiovascular disease is an inflammatory, metabolic, and endothelial condition as much as it is a lipid condition. So if we want to predict and prevent heart disease, we need to look beyond just the cholesterol scoreboard and start paying attention to the messy, hidden processes actually driving vascular damage. Take Lp(a), for example. Lipoprotein A is a genetically influenced particle that's structurally similar to LDL but behaves very differently. It carries oxidized phospholipids, promotes clotting, and inflames the endothelium. Elevated Lp(a) doesn't respond to statins and isn't reflected in your standard lipid panel, yet it's a major independent risk factor for atherosclerosis. Then there's hsCRP, the high-sensitivity C-reactive protein that measures systemic inflammation. Inflammation doesn't show up in cholesterol numbers, but it's a key trigger for plaque formation, instability, and rupture, the events that actually cause heart attacks. Even HDL, once idolized, has proven to be more complicated than we thought. It turns out it's not just the quantity of HDL that matters, but the quality, its function, its antioxidant capacity, its ability to remove cholesterol from plaques. Niacin raised HDL, yes, but not always the kind that actually helped. Like inflating a balloon with hot air, the increase looked impressive, but didn't lift anything useful. And then we have endothelial function, the canary in the coal mine of vascular health. The endothelium lines your blood vessels and governs vasodilation, inflammation, clotting, and immune response. Damage to this layer is the starting point for atherosclerosis. Endothelial dysfunction can occur in people with normal LDL and perfect HDL, and yet it often goes unmeasured. Tools like flow-mediated dilation or reactive hyperemia index can assess endothelial responsiveness, but they're rarely used in routine care, even though they may offer a better window into future cardiovascular events than lipids ever could. This isn't to say that cholesterol doesn't matter. It absolutely does. But the singular obsession with LDL as the villain and HDL as the hero has outlived its utility. A broader, more nuanced approach is emerging, one that includes genetics, inflammation, oxidative stress, endothelial integrity, and even the gut microbiome. Cardiovascular risk isn't a single lever, it's a symphony of subtle imbalances. Niacin's fall from grace helped expose just how narrow our view had become. We were staring at the dashboard while the engine was catching fire. It's time we redefine cardiovascular risk in a way that reflects the biology, not just the biochemistry. Yes, check your cholesterol, but also your Lp(a), your hsCRP, your insulin sensitivity, your sleep, your stress, and your arterial flexibility. Measure what actually matters, not just what's easy to quantify. Because the truth is, managing heart health requires more than manipulating numbers. It requires understanding systems and accepting that sometimes a good number can hide a bad outcome.